Hey guys, this is the Betamax Man. So, I hope I still have the footage of me showing this machine. And the problem with this particular one, this is the EDV 9000, which is a Japanese model, which I got it from a Canadian. So somebody from Canada imported it from Japan to Canada, and then it was imported from Canada to me here in the US. So this one had an issue, and that was that the drum head was not spinning. The head drum motor was not working, and I didn't have any way of repairing it because I had no motors. Well, I've got this other one that arrived damaged. This is the EDV 9500, I think it is. But it's been damaged, and also when we looked at that one, the whole entire plastic pieces that actually hold the pinch roller guide assembly together is broken out, and there's no fixing that other chassis. So this, I know, has a good chassis. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, why don't you just pull the head drum assembly out of that one and put in this one? Well, yeah, that would be great, and that was what my original plan was, but I've had a litter of kittens, and this was sitting on the floor without the bottom on, without the top on. I never put this thing back together, and I just kind of sat it on the floor and kind of forgot about it. Well, the kittens got a hold of the wires and chewed them, and there's a lot of wires that are severed, and it would take me more time to repair all of the wires that have been damaged than it would be to just swap out the mechanism. So it's gonna be actually quicker to just swap out the whole mechanism. So I will put that head drum assembly into this chassis. Now we're gonna take this chassis, because this chassis does work. The only thing that wasn't working was, like I said, that head drum motor was not turning the head drum, the head disc, anyway, but so I'm like, you know what? I'll swap out the mechanisms, because I know this one is in good shape and it works really, really well. So we're going to do that. There's a screw here and a screw over here, and there's a screw in the front here. So I'll probably have to, I do have to take this whole front plate off and probably take a couple of circuit boards off of the front in order to get access to the chassis screw that screws the front of the chassis in. So 3 screws actually hold the chassis in, and I can do that by removing this front. So we'll get this, I'm going to start getting this thing disassembled so we can pull it out. And all the connectors are all the same on the other machine. And if I didn't have so many broken wire connections, I would have just, if it was like 1 or 2 wires, I would have fixed it, no problem. But multiple wires got damaged in this. So and the condition of the circuit boards and stuff, it looks like it's gotten wet, because I can see rust spots and stuff. That is an indication that this circuit board has probably gotten wet So it could have damage. I mean, these circuit boards could have damage too. So I think the best, and this is a Japanese model. I want the American, the EDV 9500. I want the American one. So the front piece here, there's a grounding wire here, and it looks like it's a grounding wire. Anyway, it disconnects. You just take the screw out there and this will come off, and I put the screw back in just so I remember where the wires go. And now I can access that screw here in the middle. This is the screw I need now to get the front chassis undone so it can be removed. Now there's going to be some connectors that I'm going to have to disconnect, obviously, as well, and then those two screws in the back, so this won't be too bad, actually. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got the chassis here. This chassis was out of the 9000, which was the one for the Japanese ED beta that had the problem with the video head drum not turning. So the plan is to take this chassis and put it into the 9500, because as you could see previously in this video, we had a plastic piece that was all broken up, and basically the controller was not able to move back and forth properly because of all the mounting hardware, the plastic mounting hardware that holds this controller assembly in place and allows it to operate correctly is all broken out. More than likely due to the bad shipping and job that this thing received. And it was not only not shipped correctly, but it was also beat up by the people at the shipping company, which I believe it might have been FedEx. And we all know how FedEx mishandles packages. So, you know, and like we've showed you previously in the video, the controller was just moving back and forth because there was no hardware left that holds it in place. There was nothing left. So, and of course, yeah, this has got the head out of it because this is the one that had the video head wouldn't turn because the motor was bad. I didn't have a motor for it. And of course, this is the one I was working on, but this was all taken apart, but the motor was not operating at all, and it is due to the Hall effect sensor that's went bad. We're gonna go ahead and put the head out of this chassis, put it in here. I'm going to put this chassis in here. Now this is quite a lot of work involved in unplugging all of the connectors and then reconnecting everything. And that is a challenge because you got to find where the hell all the wiring goes to, because there's about 4 circuit boards that the connectors go to, and so And when it's all zip tied together, it makes it very hard to try to find the right one to unplug. But I'm going to push through this. We're going to get through it. It's going to be alright. I am probably going to be replacing this front plastic piece here because somebody has put this red tape all over the front plastic piece here. This is the window for all the display, and somebody put red tape over it, and what that'll do is that'll change the color of the display because it's a red. It's almost like a transparent tape that somebody has put on here. So, but this is an American model, and this is what I actually really wanted, was an American model. This is basically the SLH 1000 with extended definition, ED beta. So ED beta is the best home video recording format that you are ever going to have, other than High 8, because High 8 was a digital format. This is an analog format, but High 8, this rivals with High 8, and it's very, very good quality. 500 lines, actually 550 lines to be exact, on a metal oxide tape. So I'm gonna have to take this all back apart, take the front off, take the bottom off, take the top off, take the screws out of the circuit board so I can get to the connectors to unplug, so we can change out the chassis. It's a lot of work going through changing the chassis, but it's going to be worth it, trust me. So we're going to have something that's going to work really well at the end, and I hope anyway. I don't even know if the preamp works on this thing or not, but we'll find out. So, alright, we're going to see if there's electronic issues. We're going to have to fix those, obviously. Alright, let's get started. I've got some of the back pieces here that are, removed, so that the circuit board on this side can be lifted up. The circuit board over here can be lifted up now. And I've disconnected this bottom portion, the real drive table motor. The real table motor assembly has been disconnected. That is connects to this board over in this area here. Another area we're going to have to unplug is there are going to be some wire connectors that, as you can see, are coming up to these areas over here on this board over in this section. So it's going to be a long process of finding where the wires are, disconnecting them, taking the old chassis out. Now, what I am going to have to do is I am going to have to remove the front circuit board here as well, so that I can get to that third screw that holds the front of the chassis in place. Because the front of the chassis, there's one screw in the front, and then there's the two screws in the back that hold the chassis in place. They hold the chassis in the machine. So pretty straightforward as far as hardware goes to remove the hardware and whatnot. So I'm just going to work on and keep working on and keep getting things squared away. Yeah, this front piece has to be pulled back. So this is the grounding strap here. We remove that. That should be the grounding strap. But when you pull back this circuit board, there are mounting tabs on the bottom here that you gotta remove. But you remove the mounting tabs, you can get the board loose, and you can see our screw here is for holding in the front of the chassis. So I'm going to remove that. Then we're going to remove the screw over here, this right here, and there's one down over there, as you can see. So we'll remove those 3 screws. This chassis will become loose. Here's the preamp right here. This is or no, this might be the head amp. Yeah, this is the head amp. Sorry, that's not a preamp, that's a head amp. I'm sorry, guys. So this is the head amp that's connected to a lot of the circuitry. There's going to be wires that are going to be going and connecting to this board over here. So I'm doing it in a way where I'm trying to do it in a way where I can remember where everything goes. Sometimes I do use a Sharpie to mark some things, some wiring that may, if the plugs are the same size and they go in different areas, it's always a good idea to have a Sharpie to mark, like say yellow for this wire, black for that other one. Allow you to go ahead and be able to know where it goes back. But you can see that this here shouldn't lift up like that, and it shouldn't move around like that. That should be solid, but the mounting tabs are all busted. Basically, I just cut the ribbon of wiring going to the bad chassis. This is the bad chassis that has come out. And also the cassette basket, cassette housing. And the reason why it wasn't working, as you can see, the posts have broken off. So the basket is not, the posts are not going through these gears. The posts have to go through these gears so that the gears can move the cassette basket up and down. That's why the tape wouldn't come back up, because that was broken. So now we got a big gaping hole here, so we're gonna put the new chassis in, but I gotta take these wires here and find out just exactly where they go, disconnect them, and this will be an easy thing for me to do, and then we'll start putting a new chassis in place. We've also got to transfer over the video head drum motor assembly as well, because we're going to take the video head assembly out of this old chassis, put it in the new chassis, and then we'll reconnect all the wiring, and then we'll test this thing out. Okay, well, we got the thing back together. All that red transparent tape has been removed. Let's see what happens.